is finally out of the bag. The legendary Suzuki Hayabusa is back. Launch control! Woohoo! But here's the thing, that's not what the new Busa is all about anymore. In fact, we are told it is a little bit slower up top compared to the older bike because it is down 7 horsepower and also makes 5 Newton meters less compared to the older bike. But here's the thing, for Suzuki, this was done on purpose because who needs all that power to rule here? Okay, this is a bit of an exaggeration, but how about this? That's more like it. More befitting of a hyper-tourer. I mean, sure, it's ludicrous top speed, gut-wrenching acceleration is what helped the Busa set itself apart from every other bike out there. But if you ask me, what truly endeared it to its millions of fans over the years was its insane ability of circumnavigating the globe at crazy speeds with breathtaking ease. In fact, that is what Suzuki set out to do with the new Busa, to make it even more comfortable, robust and safer than ever before. The Busa now gets a whole catalogue of electronic aids. So much so that it puts to shame the electronics package on Suzuki's flagship superbike, the GSXR 1000R. What? What are you talking about? Oh, that? No, dude. That's the Sensairy tire pressure monitoring system. This, because, come. Brand new Busa, barely than 2500 kilometers, and this is what has happened to the rear tire. Yeah, thanks to our esteemed journalists who reviewed the bike before me and did pointless burnouts to reduce the tire to like steel threads. So yeah, that's just my survival kit to make sure I have at least some understanding of where the tire pressures are. But no, what I'm talking about is the 6-axis IMU and the ride-by-wire throttle, which have opened the floodgates. So now we are talking about 6 different riding modes. 3 are preset and 3 are user-defined, which allow you to change basically anything under the sun. We are talking about 10 levels of lean sensitive traction control, 10 different separate levels of wheelie control. The first Suzuki bike ever to get engine braking control, complete with 3 different settings and the option to switch it off altogether. You get a bi-directional quick shifter as standard, which again has 2 settings. One is racier, one is smoother. So even the launch control, which we first were so excited about, comes with 3 different RPM levels to nail those perfect launches. You also get cornering ABS. Also, the front and the rear tire are now linked. So even when you're just pressing the front brake, it also engages the rear brake to get the motorcycle to come to a stop much sooner. Not just that, when you're going down an incline and you're braking really hard, you can feel the rear lift mitigation kicking in really strong to prevent some accidental stoppies. The coolest part here is, even if you flip the script and let's say you're going up a steep climb and you stall the bike, just like we have seen on adventure motorcycle, this one also gets the hill hold control, which by just pressing the front brake, it will stop rolling back even when you have the clutch pressed in, which is very cool. Of course, being a Busa, it also now gets cruise control, and for the first time you also get something which is known as an active speed limiter, so that you can easily avoid the accidental speed tickets on your way to work. And it doesn't end there. To make the busa even more comfortable over long distances, the ergonomics have changed. The handlebar now is 12 mm closer to the rider to facilitate easy reach. Also, the seat height has gone from 805 to 800 mm, which makes it that much easier to have both your feet firmly on the ground, especially when you're moving this 266 kg monster in the parking lot. Then the pegs are damped to reduce vibrations. The clutch and the brake levers are adjustable for reach, which is pretty cool. The slip and assist clutch is noticeably lighter to operate in the city and does a really good job of keeping the rear in line under aggressive downshifts, and also allows you to have some fun if you're in a mood for it. Then you have the KYB suspension, which deliver, as always, they're fully adjustable, offer a really good balance between exceptional ride quality and also the support which you require under hard braking or at high speeds, and also to have fun in the corners. It's actually quite unbelievable how a bike which is this big and this long can be so much fun in the corners, thanks to, of course, the suspension and the communicative chassis. But the biggest changes that make the busa into a complete package now is the fact that Suzuki have finally addressed its Achilles heel, which is braking and heat management. So on the braking front, in terms of upgrades, you get the Brembo Stylema calipers and the bigger 320 mm disc. And these two combined with the combined braking, the limb braking, means you have never felt more confident braking or dropping anchor on the busa. It is no longer the lump in the throat kind of motorcycle every time you're hard braking as you experience on the older busa, because here you have really strong stopping power up front, really good feel at the lever, and then when you add cornering ABS to the equation, you feel the strongest and the most confident you have ever felt braking on a busa. And talking about going slow, that's where this also excels pretty well now, because it no longer wants to explode like an angry volcano at every traffic signal because of all the gains and advancements that have been made on the heat management front. Because this fairing now diverts a lot more air towards the radiator and the oil cooler to keep it cool. You also have the twin radiator fans which kick in even before the temperature gauge reaches the halfway point to keep the temperature under check. And even the blades on the fans have been reshaped to divert all the hot air coming from the engine away from the rider's leg. But I still can't help but get this nagging feeling that many of you are still stuck on the fact that this one is actually slower than the older bike. I'm sure that begs the question if this is a Hayabusa at all. Or is it a peregrine falcon with its wings chopped off? And the only way I can answer that question is this new busa is a completely different animal altogether. Compared to the older bike, this one will run out of steam a little bit after 270 km per hour. But up until that point, it makes more power and torque all the way through the rev range. I mean, if you thought riding the old busa without electronics was crazy, I think riding this, if it did not have the electronics that it does, would be a death wish. There's just so much torque at your disposal, which also actually makes this really tractable even in the city. I mean, you can ride this mammoth machine in the city in the 4th gear, roll over speed bumps without using the clutch, and it will still roll along without any juddering. And if you're in a mood for mayhem, all you have to do is just storm down the gears and crack the whip, and you will get just that. I think it's this versatility which makes the busa better than ever before. Now don't get me wrong, it is far from perfect. I'm really surprised at how it still doesn't get steel braided lines with this updated braking system. Also the ground clearance, now it stands at 125 mm, which is about 6 mm more than the previous bike. And to be fair, not once did it scrape on this entire test, and we went over some really broken roads. But I think with a pillion and luggage, that might prove to be a little too small for our Indian road conditions. Also, I feel the windscreen could have been a little bit taller, which is precisely why Suzuki offers a bubble screen as an accessory. And the tank too has gone down from 21 to 20. Although it's not a whole lot, this one does drink a lot more fuel. So you're looking at a range of about 250 to 260 kilometers between fuel stops, which is not the best if you harbor intercontinental touring dreams. But as a hyper tourer, I don't think the Hayabusa has ever made such a strong argument. I mean, the engine is still strong as ever, even more versatile, even more engaging. I love the way it looks. I love how they've managed to incorporate the same silhouette, how they've especially kept the cockpit the same and so seamlessly integrated the TFT screen. And yeah, also if you look at the electronics, it definitely offers you far and beyond the 2.7 lakh rupee price hike that this one commands. Which is precisely why I am so jealous of all of you who managed to procure it before even the second lot got completely sold out.